friends. So today I'll be showing you how I use Claude Cowork to run my small business. I don't think a lot of people realize how much you can do with Claude Cowork. So let's answer the first question. What is Claude Cowork? So the way that I understand it and breaking it down is Claude Cowork is different from Claude because Claude is just a chat bot that you can use whether it's in your web browser or if you actually download the Claude platform onto your computer. But with the chat bot, you can use anywhere. You can use it on the app on your phone. You can use it in your browser. You can use it on desktop. For Claude Cowork, it can only live on your desktop. And so, what makes it unique is that you're actually giving it access to some of the files in your computer that it will then pull in relevant context and information for you to use. Versus if you were to just use the chat bot, you're starting with new context every time you make a new chat. So, it's not really capable of working from your files. Or with the chat bot, you're forced to have to drag it into the chat bot. But on Cowork, you don't have to do that. You can just direct it to a folder and then Claude Cowork can work from that folder. So that's a simple way to explain it. So how I like to use it, I use it for a lot of things. When it comes to my small business, I use it as a virtual assistant, creative director. I'm a social media strategist, so I use it a lot for planning strategies, organizing my thoughts. I tend to brain dump a lot, and so I like that it would have context within certain folders to help me do that. So what I really want to show you is how you can use it to create daily digests. And in this daily digest, you could have it check your emails and summarize any unread emails or things that you need to respond to. You can have it scan through Fathom meetings, and Fathom is an AI tool that I use to record my meetings and to take AI notes. And so you can have it scan Fathom where it can track the to-dos for you and then actually just create a daily dashboard so you can keep up to date with everything that you're working in. I also like to use it via Slack. So I have it pulling messages from Slack and to see anything that maybe I haven't addressed or that reads as a to do. And then it'll actually add it to my dashboard. Or I have it set up so I also use Notion. I use a lot of tools I know. I also use Notion to have a task list that I can actually check off every day. So there's a lot you can do with it. To get started, you can just visit Claude AI, and then that's where you can download the desktop application that they have for Windows and Mac or whatever system platform you're using, and then you go from there. So once you downloaded it, you open it and you're going to see this screen, and this is where we are. So this is the dashboard. There are a lot of things that you can do, but we're going to start with the basics. So right now you're on the home page, and then here you'll see chat, and then you'll see cowork. So chat is the chat bot, if you're not familiar, is what you would usually use. Like ChatGPT has a chat bot where you're just casually talking to it. You give it a prompt, it gives you an answer. And so this is when you toggle on chat, this is what that section is. You give it a prompt, it gives you an answer, that's it. But we want to toggle on cowork. And with cowork, you have to select what file you want to work out of. So here, and this is going to be a different video, but I actually work out of Obsidian because a problem that I wanted to solve is that on Claude, each chat is like talking to a new person essentially. And so I wanted to build a brain where it remembers the context for every chat that I'm in. So I have it pulling from my Obsidian vault, which is, I know I'll talk about it in a different video, but I pull from that brain and so it'll give me context. But for you, you might, it depending on what you need to do. Let's say if you're working on social content and you have a folder on your computer that has a whole bunch of like notes and files, or if you have an AI recorder like Phasm and you collect those notes on your computer, you can just link it to that file so it can pull all the context versus you having to constantly like drag context into the chat. So from here, I have it connected to my brain. So we wanted to build us our daily digest. So like I said, some things you can do. We're gonna start and say create a daily digest. And let's say you want it to scan for emails that need responding. Pull my Notion to, and if you don't know, Notion is just a platform you can use. It's a kind of like a project management platform. You can take notes, you can create calendars. I use it as a task list. Claude will pull my messages from Slack, and then anything that reads as a to do, it will add it to Notion. And so then I have a task list of when the due dates are, any information, and things like that. So I can ask Claude to check all the things that the statuses of different tasks within my Notion and go ahead and add that to my daily digest. So it just sums up what I need to be working on for the day. So pull my Notion to dos that are timely. What else? Organize what I should be working on today. Scan my calendar for any meetings. So this is just a sample, so we'll start here. Okay, so now it's running. It's just going to go through everything and it's trying to calculate everything that it needs to accomplish this. Okay, so Claude has something called connectors. So if you open up your settings and then scroll down, you'll hit connectors. And from here, you'll see all the different connectors. So this is relevant because Claude needs the context in order to pull this information from and how to do these things for you. So some connectors that I have again is Notion. You can have your Gmail connected to it, your Google Calendar, Google Drive. So all these connectors matter because it will be able to take certain actions for you. So as you type in and asking for the digest, you will say, okay, well, I need this connector connected, or I need this connector connected, and then it'll walk you through how to connect them. But if it's something that you want to connect on your own, then you can just go through to the connectors tab and then just scroll through the ones that are already here. I recommend sticking to what's here and don't try to go on a different website trying to find a specialized connector. Just stick to what Claude has to offer you. And something else that I like about Claude that if you're stuck on something, you just ask it, hey, how do I do this? And then it'll direct you on how to do it. So from here, once it's finished, it should make a scheduled task. So let's walk through what scheduled tasks are. So for your daily digest, you can set up a schedule. So at 7 a.m. every morning, it's going to pull all this information and summarize it for you. And then this is where you find it. So the scheduled tab is located on the left side of the screen here. You're able to schedule what times you would want these things to run, so it'll be ready by the time you're here. Scheduled tasks can only run while your computer is awake and online, so just keep that in mind. But from here, you can schedule what time you want your tasks to run. For the daily digest, for most people, it probably makes sense to do it in the morning. So when you're sitting at your computer, that is the first thing that you see. You can go through your list of to-dos and what your digest is for the day. Okay, so I finished playing the digest. So here's what it came up with. It shows you here the sources that were scanned. It was Gmail, Notion, Google Calendar, and content building. Content building, I think, is a folder that was in my Obsidian vault, which is fine, and we don't have to talk about that. But the main thing to note is you can control where it comes from. So these are some popular additions you might want to connect it to. So it shows items that were overdue, items that are due today, action items from email. So it scanned the email and it showed if there's anything that has been unread or anything you need to follow up with, all of that information would live here. And then it has the in progress tab. So maybe stuff that you put your reviewing, whether in Notion or wherever, you put your reviewing and it's not marked as done, then it's also putting it in here. And then you have stuff that's coming up this week. So if you have any meetings coming up, so it can schedule out your day for you. And even for me, since I'm recording videos quite often, it made a content building. So I have a content calendar. So it even pulled, okay, what I should be working on today in terms of that. Gave me the format pillars, hooks, the status of the ideas. Overall, it is a great way to kind of, if you're like me, I love to brain dump. My mind kind of gets everywhere. I'll have a lot of things that I'm working on. So this is a great way to start and get your thoughts organized. And then from here, you can just ask it to create a schedule that runs at 7 a.m. on weekdays. And then what this will do is automatically add to that scheduled tab that I showed you before. So it'll just run on its own using these same qualifications. And if you ever want to change anything, just say, hey, I want to remove Gmail or I want to remove Notion, and then you can go from there. Also, like I said before, if you connect any AI note takers, then it can also scan that and then list to dos that it captured for those notes. And so you could just say, oh, scan my Fathom notes or set up a schedule for it to scan your notes on the daily and then to create to-dos that were assigned to you, and you can add that to your daily digest as well. So to do that, you do it the same way how you would do it before when it comes to adding connectors. Either Claude will prompt you to add it, or you can just go through via the connectors tab and try to find your AI note taker. I do recommend Fathom. Fathom is free, which is great. So I do recommend using it. It's very easy to use. It does a really good job with summarizing your notes, and you can add it to Claude Cowork. And something to keep in mind, in order to use Claude Cowork, you do have to have a pro or max plan. So keep that in mind. As you're setting things up, Claude may prompt you to allow a task. You can glance over it and read it if you want to. I do recommend just kind of looking to see what it's trying to do. But that does happen from time to time, it prompting you to allow a task. And you can also change it to where you can always allow the task, which I don't recommend unless you're sure it's something that it can get done correctly every time. In another video, I can show you how I use Claude to pair it with Notion and Slack so it can create to-dos for me. And in this board, I have it set up where it would organize all of the upcoming tasks at the top, and then later, all of the stuff that maybe I'm not ready to work on yet or living in my backlog. And so I have Claude automatically populating this information for me. That's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Please like and subscribe. I'll be doing a lot of different series involving how I use AI to really get through my days within my small business. You can leave a comment on anything maybe you're working on or anything you'd want to see in the future. See you next time.